Today I'm walking around town to do some errands with Claude. It has been quite a while since we have done this. Though we are here to run errands, there is also something else that drew me into town today. Yesterday Walt came back to the marsh and told us of an announcement the king was making today. Apparently that announcement had been posted for at least a week's time, but Walt had only caught onto it after hearing about it from the crowds after one of his puppet shows. I am not sure what this announcement entails, but I feel that I need to make sure I need to see the king make it with my own eyes. I can see more people milling about than usual, which means most of them must be waiting for the king to speak. I have a bad feeling about this. It is not strange for the king to make announcements, but this feels so sudden. And with everything else that's happened to me, I feel on edge. Wow, Lucette, you made these bags sound a lot lighter than they'd actually be. Stop complaining, Miss Karma. You give valuable experience of carrying bags. Seeing Claude, oh my god. Seeing Claude complain is amusing, especially since I know he can handle the load. I feel like a servant. What does that make me when you made me carry all those bags before? An assistant? I roll my eyes at him. We're both working at the margin, you know. And then the thought strikes me, what do you even do at the margin? Claude looks surprised at my question, but then he quickly smiles at me. I train the knights, of course. I also attract customers with my beautiful reputation. I start laughing and Claude's face flushes. Darling, I get the feeling you're laughing at me. I wonder. We finish up the rest of our errands and then sit down in the town plaza to rest. Claude leaves briefly and then returns with a slice of cake for both of us to share as a snack. I have a lot of things I want to ask him and now feels like the right time to do so. May I ask you a question? Of course, darling, anything. Do you enjoy dressing like a woman? I don't mind it, really. I appreciate the beauty in anything. You girls get to wear quite an assortment of lovely dresses and makeup. It's quite beautiful. I feel more comfortable in my own clothes, but I don't mind dresses. I guess if you had to wear a dress for so long, you'd get used to it. I have another question. And what would that be? When I was in your room the other day, you spoke about a woman. Were you talking about the witch who cursed you? Oh no, the woman I was talking about. He suddenly goes silent and lowers his head. His expression fades into something more melancholy, and I feel my heart lurch. Maybe I shouldn't have brought this up. To my surprise, Claude continues talking. Shortly after I came to Angielle, there was a woman that I met whose smile was as radiant as sunshine. She was beautiful, and when she laughed, everything felt right about the world. Hearing him talk about her makes me uncomfortable. Am I jealous? Claude watches me sit quietly as if he is measuring my expression. Eventually, he goes back to speaking. I knew her for many months. Time passed, and I thought we were truly in love, and then He goes silent for a few moments, his eyes distant, his expression pained. Well, some things happened, and I realized she only loved me because of my curse. She was drawn to me just as any other woman is. She seemed so genuine in comparison to the other women, but in the end... Claude trails off and lets out an exasperated sigh. You are truly in love with her. I was. I've dated many women, but I've never fallen in love with someone who has honestly loved me back. So, the last person he loved was that one woman. Claude looks at me, and for a few moments he does not speak. Lucette, do you mind if I ask you a question? No, I don't mind. Have you ever loved anyone? My mother, of course. I was referring to a romantic kind of love. Romantic kind of love? What does that kind of love feel like? Allow me to enlighten you. He smiles at me, and it is surprisingly genuine. It can feel simultaneously like floating and sinking. Your heart stutters and you worry about small things, about offending this other person in some way. You wonder if they'll like what you're wearing, or if they would prefer a sandwich to a casserole when you treat them for dinner. You begin to find beauty in all the things that they do. Their presence makes you feel complete in a way you had never thought of before. You try to imagine life without that person and find that you cannot. To even consider such a thing is painful, so much that it feels like it might break your heart. Claude continues talking, but my mind is already whirling. Though he phrases things in a way that still feels unnecessarily dramatic, I feel a tinge of familiarity. The things he is describing, those are things I feel when I am with him. Before I can say anything, we hear the sound of hooves and both of us turn. I can see a procession of knights along with the king on his horse. He normally rides into town like this, but today he's not smiling, and there are way too many knights riding with him. And is that 𝐸𝐸𝐿? Let us go find a place to stand and watch, as you wish. Claude walks with me into the crowd gathering around the king, and we find a spot to spectate at the very edge closer to the alleyways. My beloved citizens of Angielle, I've come before you today to make an important announcement. Ever since I was given this crown, I have sworn to live my life for the people and to rule in all fairness so that our kingdom can enjoy great peace. The crowd breaks into applause. I stare at the king, an uneasy feeling in my stomach when I notice that there is sadness in his eyes, though he is smiling. Then I notice 𝐸𝐸𝐿 appears to be hiding a smile. I do not like where this is going. God, he's gonna abdicate right in front of people. The king's speech goes on for long minutes after that, with him detailing the commitments he made, the goals he set, and finally his love for the people. The audience around us claps and cheers, but Claude and I are silent. Something is not right. I nod in response. To this day, I keep this promise. I would never break this oath, for it is the foundation on which I rule. The audience claps again, but I am silent, watching the king intently. Unfortunately, the unwelcome news that I bring you today gives me reason to hand this foundation over to someone else. I have fallen terminally ill. Oh my god, bro. The king's proclamation is met with shocked and angry chattering from the audience. I cannot hear everything that's being said over the cacophony of voices, but I know that the audience is dissenting. I stiffen as I stare at the king. He is lying. I can tell by the firm set of his jaw and the way he flickers his eyes across the crowd faster than they ought to. The king has lied to me so many times before that I recognize when he does it. I know that this misfortune must come as a shock, but this is an illness for which there is no current cure. As for the question of my successor, he trails off for a few moments, and I think I see something in his eye that hints at urgency, but I'm not sure why. Crown Princess Emmeline is unmarried and still too young to rule on her own. I feel a pang of irritation and confusion. Another lie. Emmeline could rule just fine with the help of Sir Mithras and others. After much thought, I have come to the conclusion that our kingdom, which still continues to face danger from the witches, is best put in the capable hands of the commander of the Order of Chalderos or 𝐸𝐸𝐿. What? I cannot hide my shock. The rest of the audience reacts similarly. There are sudden outbursts, a testament to their confusion. While I will be providing support and assistance from the sidelines, I cannot in all good grace continue to wear this crown when I know I cannot serve my people as they deserve. Simply put, I believe that the witches have gained more power in the recent months and that 𝐸𝐸𝐿 is best suited to deal with these conflicts. The Fairytale Curse runs more rampant these days, and there have been more reports of incidents involving magic. The murmuring continues, except now the townsfolk sound panicked. This cannot be true. I do not miss the reluctance in the king's next words. Sir 𝐸𝐸𝐿 has also suggested a number of remedies to our laws, especially concerning our security and work hours. I believe that Sir 𝐸𝐸𝐿 can better rule this country in these turbulent times. Please show him all the love and loyalty you've shown me. That bastard. Claude has a foul expression on his face, and his words feel heavy, even in a low whisper. I know the king. He takes every duty upon himself, and he would never hand his crown to someone else. Once Sir 𝐸𝐸𝐿 comes to stand on the podium, he silences them with a glare. Citizens of Angielle, I swear to you that I will serve you as well as Gennaro has. That being said, I also believe some changes will need to be made. Sir 𝐸𝐸𝐿 continues to speak. He mentioned things like curfews for safety, extended work hours, and additional taxes to go toward the knights, but I am slowly beginning to block out the drone of his voice. What is going on, sir? No, 𝐸𝐸𝐿 must have done something to force the king into the charade. The king stands behind 𝐸𝐸𝐿 with his hands clasped, his eyes alert, but there is a helplessness to them that I've never seen before. It isn't long before the crowd's unsettled murmuring becomes agitated whispering. I am stunned when Claude cups his hands to his mouth and starts shouting. There is only one king, King Gennaro. Claude grips my hand and starts leading me around the outskirts so that people cannot spot him as he continues his shout. The crowd begins to chant along with Claude, and then they draw nearer to the stage where my father and Alcastor are standing. There is only one king, King Gennaro. There is only one king, King Gennaro. Let's go, Lucette. The crowd is right next to the platform now, and the chant carries on. Claude pulls me behind him, but my mind is on my father and on his desperate eyes. Hours later, the merchant's tavern is chaotic. People are talking over each other, trying to relay the scene that they saw in town today. Every visitor is here talking about what they witnessed. I have been in the corner of the room this entire time, trying to understand everyone but failing. Dolores and Parfait are not here to calm all this chaos. Hey, princess, how are you feeling? I almost jump when I hear Rumpel's voice. Surprise, I can feel a damsel is in distress, my lady. I'm not really in the mood for your flirting with Rumpel. Oh, my apologies. I thought you might have wanted some cheering up. Where's your partner? He went out to town to survey the situation. Karma doesn't do anything around the tavern, but he does a whole lot for you, doesn't he? I suppose that's the least a man in love can do. What? I feel myself blush. What is Rumpel going on about? Princess, you're pink. I am not. My mind feels all scrambled now. This is all Rumpel's fault. Thankfully, before Rumpel can continue talking, the door opens and Dolores walks inside to call all the merchant boarders into the reception room. When I step into the reception room, I am surprised to see two familiar figures standing beside Parfait, Emily and Rod. Oh, both of them looked around and discouraged. Everyone is noticeably shocked as they stepped inside. The prince and the princess, where did they come from? What is happening at the palace? What of Queen Ophelia? Oh my god. We need silence in the room, everyone. Dolores raises her voice, effectively causing everyone to pause. She glances at Parfait, who nods and then turns to look at Rod and Emmeline. Princess Eveline, if you would tell everyone what you told Dolores and I. The room is unnaturally quiet as Emmeline begins her story. She starts with the events of 1 week ago. In the middle of a family dinner, Alcastor burst in with soldiers and seized her, Rod, and Ophelia in front of the king. Sir Alcastor said that if the king didn't hand over his crown, he would kill us. We had no idea a coup would be staged. The three of them were taken down to prison cells, with Ophelia taken to a separate cell. Sir Fitzgerald helped us escape, only just barely. Fritz, are you openly disobeying your father? I hope that he is safe. Alcastor wanted to kill the king. I'm sure that he still will. But he has no reason to. The king has already handed over his crown. I speak before even realizing. Everyone stares at me, including Rod and Emmeline. Alcastor is a foul man. I only think he usurped the throne now without violence because he wants less resistance from the people. He never spoke up to my father before. Did you just say father? It's a long story, Em. Emmeline looks between Rod and I, her expression confused. You know each other? We do. Emmeline looks like she wants to say something, but she remains silent. Our mother is still inside the palace. We need to save her somehow, and Sir Fitzgerald. What happened to Fritz? We don't know. He helped us escape, but we were spotted at the last minute. He told us to run ahead and leave him behind. We didn't see him again after that, and we couldn't just wait, so Rod brought me here. Right now, we need to piece together this situation as quickly as we can, and then we need to figure out a way to save the king. I knew Alcastor was up to something, but I never thought it would escalate into this. Jurian, what do you know about this? Garland and I weren't stripped of our titles because we disobeyed Alcastor's orders. No way. It was because you guys knew. It was because we overheard Alcastor plotting something and tried to tell the king of his plot. Wow. We gave him a warning, but the king did not believe us. Not with Alcastor and Mithras whispering in his ears. The king didn't think Alcastor was possible of such a betrayal. He thought we were trying to turn him against Alcastor for our own gain. And so Alcastor stripped us of our titles and banished us from the palace. Lady Parfait found us, and while we were happy to help out at the tavern, we also intended to eventually do something about the mess in the palace. So Alcastor has been planning to do this all this time. When we part for the night, Parfait and Dolores take Rod and Emmeline to a room that they can share. It has been decided that they will be harbored here at the Margin, a place that Emily apparently knew about but never came to because she wasn't cursed. So Raj would say that his family knew he was cursed. I noticed Emily looking at me many times throughout the night, but she never asked me anything. Well, she doesn't remember you because of the curse. Like, she's gonna be staring at you. The next few days are a muddled mess. Everyone is busy trying to find out what happened and what can be done to help the king. I am sleeping at the tavern half-heartedly one day, my thoughts on everything but my chores. Everyone's been trying to do something to help out the last few days. Though I've gone on quite a few trips into town with Claude to search for information, I haven't been able to find much. I feel so useless. I am finally on my break, so I decided to go into the reception room to rest. When I step inside, I notice Emily sitting on the couch. She waves me over as soon as she sees me. She hasn't really openly spoken to me since she has been here. Parfait and Laura have been trying to hide her so as not to cause a ruckus in the Margin. Rumors are dangerous now. You're Lucette, right? Yes. Rod told me about your curse. He said that you're the king's blood daughter. I'm really sorry. I am shocked by Emmeline's sudden outburst. What? I didn't mean to, but I took your place. How could I forget my own sister? We're not blood related. That doesn't matter. I would love you regardless. Emily was always trying to take me out and do things with me back when I was still in the palace. I distanced myself from her because I thought the king loved her more than he loved me. I still think that maybe he does. We weren't close. I barely spoke to you or to Rod. Didn't he tell you that? He did. But perhaps we can turn over a new leaf? Emmeline is as stubborn as always. I have more things to worry about than being her friend. I have to go. I walk off before the conversation can continue. Why are you being mean? If I hadn't been cursed and remained in the palace, would Sir Alcastre have taken me hostage too? No. Because you're Gennaro's daughter. Okay, I don't know why I just did that. My voice is killing me, y'all. The hours tick by, and as the tavern is empty for the day, Dolores calls everyone together to explain what she and Parfait have pieced together about the situation. Alright everyone, we've come upon some new information. The first is that Alcastre has cracked down on the riots in town. Anyone seen protesting his rule is thrown in prison. The king has always valued the people's opinions. Alcastre does not want opinions. He only wants to rule with an iron fist. Our patrols have shown that there is overall more security in the palace and around town. They have been charged with keeping people quiet in whatever ways they possibly can. As we heard from the prince and princess, things are more turbulent in the palace. The king is still alive, but it is unlikely he will stay that way for very long. One thing is clear, given Sir Alcastre's motives to take over the kingdom, I doubt he will rest until the king is dead. The king's men have turned against him, and even if there are loyal soldiers still left in the palace, we cannot contact them right now. Rescuing the king and queen will be on us then. We just so happen to have people in the tavern that have a shot at rescuing them. Prince Rod has the key to a secret passage we can use to break into the palace. Secret passageway, but only the king and the commander of the knights have that key to the passage, so how did they get a copy? Who's going to join us on this mission? Jurian and Garland both volunteer immediately, followed shortly by Claude and Walt. I'll go too. The room goes quiet as I step forward and volunteer. Princess, we can't just allow you to put yourself in danger. I look at Claude, who is staring at me shocked. I took up the sword so that I can protect those I care about. Princess, you don't nearly have enough practice, but I can still help. I still have time to learn. I agree with Parfait, Princess. The palace isn't the place for you to try out your newfound sword skills. Then you may as well chain me up because I refuse to stay here while you all go save the king. Princess. Well, she has been practicing with the rest of us. Don't encourage her, Jurian. But it's not like any of us can stop her anyway. You're right, the princess is quite stubborn. Claude agrees with me, but I can tell that he does not like the idea of me going along with him. If only we had the time to get reinforcements from Karma's country. Karma's country? Brigantia. How is it possible that a Brigantian citizen can simply ask for reinforcements? Karma is the crown prince of Brigantia. There is some shuffling in the room as everyone turns to gawk at Claude. Rumple, Anise, Rod, and Emmeline all look shocked by this revelation. You're the lost prince? Lost prince. It sounds like such a tragedy, doesn't it? Suddenly, And Anise suddenly looks distressed as she fiddles her thumbs. All this time and I never knew. I'm so sorry, Your Highness. There's no need for formalities, Anise. But I'm the Lost Prince after all. I keep my lineage a secret because right now I'm just a normal commoner. But you're the prince. Couldn't you still ask for reinforcements? Even if I did ask for reinforcements, I'm pretty sure they would never come in time. Besides, I can't go back to my kingdom yet. He cannot go back while he's still cursed. The conversation continues in a more solemn tone. Eventually, we start speaking of our plan to enter the palace. When all the details are finalized, I repeat everything to myself to make sure that I know what is meant to happen. Waltz will lead us to the palace and then Jurian and Garland will follow right behind him, watching for the most immediate enemies. Leave it to us. We'll deal with any resistance before it touches you, princess. And Karma will be watching from the back along with Delora, a witch and a prince for backup. Delora smiles warily. Claude rolls his shoulders. I like to think of us as more the closing act. Though, if it all goes according to plan, we will have no need for either the opening or closing act. It is a small task force, which is better. The smaller the better. The last thing we want is to be noticed. We decide to meet again over the course of the next week to finalize our plan and carefully survey the situation in town before parting. Claude has taken the training me, Jurian, and Garland at the same time. Just the other day, he had all of us attack him together. Though I am nowhere near as good as a trained knight, I still managed to hit him once. I feel like things are coming to some sort of conclusion, yet I still haven't done 3 good deeds. Today we finalized our plans for getting into the palace. We have mapped out where the king and Ophelia must be in the prisons, where the guards might be positioned, and how we plan on sneaking in. I sit down on my bed and am about to lay down when I hear something. Hello, love. Oh. My, you're red. Were you thinking about me? Cat. Oh my god. You're on my freaking headset. Alright, lay down. Lay down. There we go. Why'd you just get back? Okay, you know, whatever. I noticed that he has one hand on his chest tonight, but then he has been doing that more lately. I notice it during practices and sometimes when I catch his eyes. Is he sick? Darling? I shake myself at the sound of Claude's voice. What if I was changing? You could have knocked. Well, you didn't seem to have a problem when you walked in on me changing without announcing yourself. That's different. He strolls inside and steps closer to me. He smiles at me mischievously. Oh, how so? Cat got your tongue. I know you did not just lick that. Hey, get down. You know what, Cat? You're going out of here, bye. Out. God, filthy ass. Claude shakes his head, his smile softening. I really didn't mean to come in to disturb you. I just have something important I needed to say to you. Claude kneels in front of me and furrows his eyebrows. Oh. I want to insist you reconsider going to the palace with us. As Parfait and Delora have said many times, it will be dangerous. Nothing you say is going to change my mind. I want to do what I can to help everyone. Yes, and that terrifies me. Terrifies you? If your stubbornness leads to you putting your neck out there for someone, I would never forgive myself for your injuries. If you want to help, stay here. Or if you want to help me, stay here where you'll be safe. I'm not some damsel that needs to be protected. Lucette. Oh, wait. Wait, no! Lucette, all I want is for you to stay safe, so that when we save your father, you can face him with a smile. I won't be able to face my father unless I'm the one of the people to save him. Stubborn as always. I sigh, irritation rolling up in my stomach at the look on Claude's face. He's calling me stubborn, but he's being stubborn about this. You said I've improved my sword fighting. You have. You've improved so much because of your resilience and drive and because you're genuinely interested. It's because I have a good teacher. Ho-ho, your compliment is gentle music to my ears. Your compliments mean a lot to me, Lucette. My eyes fixate on a soft smile and at the gentle crinkles at his eyes. Our eyes lock, and for a few moments I am aware of a slight energy between us. I glance away hurriedly, not entirely sure of what would happen if I kept staring at him. My heart beats unsteadily in my chest. Earlier today, I confronted your sister when she started crying about the things that had happened in the palace. Emmeline, why would he comfort her? I saw her crying downstairs in the reception room earlier today without anyone there. She is rather a sweet girl. I keep thinking that the two of you are completely different. You're both strong-willed and stubborn, but she wears her emotions on her sleeve while you keep it all inside of you. I'm not hiding anything if that's what you're implying. Mother always told me crying was weak. Claude stands up and leans forward. Before I know it, I am in his arms. Lucette, I'm always here for you. I feel flustered again and my mind feels foggy. I can barely comprehend what's in my mind or in my heart. Oh, thank you. You never need to thank me, Lucette. But you've done so much for me. It's not just the sword fighting, it's your patience, your company, you're saving me when I needed help. That's not true. I'm pretty sure I'm the most selfish person in this tavern. All I ever want is things for myself. I've never thought you were selfish, Claude. He puts a hand to my cheek and looks at me solemnly. You don't think that... What? Oh my god! You don't think that me wanting you is... Suddenly he steps back, his hand on his chest again, his breathing heavy. I stare at Claude with wide eyes. Claude, are you okay? I'm fine. He sighs out slowly, but he sounds obviously pained. I'll go get a niece. No. I'm fine. I swear it's just a spell of dizziness, but you... He manages a small, tight-lipped smile before he straightens and shakes his head. His hands are visibly shaking. I must be tired, but Claude... Do not tell anyone about this, okay? I don't want them to worry. Why is he always so stubborn? He is obviously in pain. I clench my hands in a fist as I frown at him. Why must you always be so secretive? You're keeping something from me, Claude. I'm sorry, Lucette. Claude abruptly leaves the room, leaving me with my fragmented thoughts. He literally said he wanted us, bro. And then she's not going to say anything about that. Chapter 9, Rescue. Oh my god. Like, literally, he literally just said, me wanting you. Girl, bye. I'm sorry. Today, I will land another hit on you, Karma. If you can, darling, I welcome the challenge. Princess, your side is open. I bring up my sword closer to my side as Garland strikes me. Tonight's the first night I get to use a real sword as opposed to a practice sword. The sounds of metal clashing echoes into the night. Is this what a real battle feels like? We have been practicing under skirmish conditions for the last few days. Since tomorrow's the last day we enact our plan, we are doing some last minute practice. Remember, fighting back to back is better than doing it alone. Claude dodges Jurian's sword as he speaks, but I notice that he seems to be taking special care not to look in my direction. He's been fine for the last few days, but I'm not sure when his pain will return. If only he would tell me what was wrong with him. But he's not, because he's stubborn and mean. When Claude finally calls the end of practice, we are all exhausted. Good job, everyone. You'll all be fine tomorrow. Garland turns to face me, a soft expression on his face. And if it comes down to it, Jurian and I will protect you. Garland looks over his shoulder at Claude. Both of you, that's our job as knights. I'm quite capable of protecting myself, but I do appreciate the offer. It's late. We should all get some rest. The two knights excuse themselves, leaving me with Claude. Lucette, you should go to bed. Princess, I have a feeling I won't sleep much tonight anyway. Be that as it may, you should still try it. I'm about to retire for the night as well. I want to talk to you. About what? Claude takes a step back and I stare at his hand absently moves to his chest. Are you really okay, Claude? I've been perfectly fine this past week. He's lying. He's obviously in pain. Why do you have to keep your pain a secret? Why won't you talk to me? I have told you before that some things are better kept a secret, Princess. Claude sighs out, then leans forward to set a hand on my head. Lucette, promise you'll stay behind me for attack. And if at any point it looks like we may not make it, you're to run as fast as you can back to the march-in. But that is cowardly. Lucette, don't you remember what I said before? Sometimes running is the right thing to do. Never run into an impossible situation. Instead, live to fight another day. Promise me you'll stay behind me. Please, Lucette. Please give me the peace of mind. I promise. If it will make him feel better before going into this mission, I cannot deny his request. Claude's expression softens as he moves away from me. I'll stay behind you. Thank you, Princess. Let's attempt sleep in preparation for tomorrow. When this is all over, I'll pry Claude's secrets out of him. Period. Tonight is the night and everyone's just about ready to go. I can't get this feeling of foreboding off of my chest. Everyone is gathered close to the door, ready to see us off. Everyone except Princess. Rumple suddenly appears, and he's coming up to stand right next to him. What are you two doing here? Well, of course we came to wish you good luck, just like everyone else here. We'll be waiting for you tonight so that we can celebrate everyone's return. Be careful. Emmeline, who has been everywhere with her brother since they came here, standing right beside him now with a smile. I would pray for your safe return. Her smile wavers, and I can tell she is uncertain. She has the great knights of the 𝐍𝐸𝐿𝐿, 2 witches and a prince. She'll be fine. Rod's responses are curt as usual, but I cannot help but notice the hesitance in his voice. Though he stares at me without expression, I think I can see a tinge of worry in his eyes. Aww. Rest assured that we will keep the princess safe. We're not going to let 𝐕𝐬𝐿𝐿 get away with what he did to Angielle and its royal family. Parfait steps forward last. She and Delora glance at each other, and I feel as if some secret message bounces between the two of them. Delora nods ever so slightly before Parfait returns to the rest of us. Her eyes eventually fall on me. You've changed since you've been here, Princess, but your dedication and resolve never wavers. It has always been there just beneath the surface. Stubbornness or resolve. It is as if Parfait is able to read my thoughts. She smiles as she sets a hand on my shoulder. Your dedication is very much like King Gennaro's. You are proud and honorable and always take steps in the right direction. That is why I know you'll be back tonight. Just as Rumple said, we'll all be waiting for you. All of you, stay safe tonight. I nod as everyone gathered around begins to repeat their hearty goodbyes. It is Delora who walks away first. We all follow behind. The night has just begun. Our way to the palace gates is uneventful, but we pause some distance away from them to take shelter in a nearby alley. There are knights everywhere. Waltz points to what looks like a regular section of the wall. There's the hidden door to the tunnels. If we time it right between the knights' patrols, we should be able to make it. On my signal. Claude puts a hand on my shoulder and squeezes. It is an abrupt gesture and doesn't last long, but the motion calms my nerves somewhat. We will be fine. Our footsteps echo in the tunnel. Standing in front of me are Jury and Garland, who are flanking Waltz. Delora stands beside me and Claude is at my back. This small tunnel makes it seem like we brought a bunch of people this way. We silently follow Waltz's instructions. How is it that Waltz knows about these tunnels? I've already taken into account the guards and where they might be positioned based on Prince Rod's information. We should be alright. Garland and I will act as distractions if needed. Princess, leave most of the fighting to us if there's any to be done. I know, I will only fight if I need to. If only I wasn't cursed, I would be able to fight to my full extent. I think you're still quite capable without all of your magic, puppeteer. Oh, compliment. It's an honor, Miss Karma. I'm only in this just because of Jurian, you know. Jurian crosses her arms and cocks an eyebrow at Claude. I wouldn't fall in love with you no matter what you say. That's what they all say. We're here. Suddenly everyone goes quiet. I feel a lot heavier as I stare at the staircase in front of me. This should lead to the throne room. Wow. I did not know we had a secret passage in the throne room. How much does Waltz know about the palace? Immediately after we step into the throne room, we split apart to avoid the guards' gazes. I sit close to Claude and Waltz as Delora conjures a blanket of shimmering fog that envelops the guards. Oh, is it like sleeping or something? Sleeping medicine? Or I don't know. I watch as the guards' eyes close before they slump to the ground. Delora drops her hands once all the guards are truly asleep. Amazing how intolerant humans are to magic. Let's keep going. Getting through the palace is no easy feat. Hallways that were easy to get through before are difficult to traverse now with all of these soldiers standing around. Dolores casts a spell to silence our footsteps into quiet muffles, but moving is still difficult, especially with such a group. Eventually, we arrive just outside the tunnels that should lead to the castle's prison. I'll stand watch. Be careful, Waltz. I will. We enter another network of tunnels. Jurian Garland, after you. Jurian glances at me briefly and then at Claude, who nods a little stiffly. We'll be right back. In accordance with the plan, Claude and I are left at the halfway point of the tunnels to ensure a clean escape as Dolores, Jurian, and Garland continue on to the prison. They should be fine, but I am still worried. My eyes wander to Claude, and I bite down on my lower lip when I notice that his hand is once again raised to his chest. I find myself reaching out to grab Claude's hand, but he swiftly pulls it away. The glare on his face takes me by surprise. Why is he so angry? Claude puts a hand onto his chest and flinches as he leans on the wall. Not now. His voice sounds pained. What is he talking about? Claude? I just need some space, princess, but I'm fine. Are you serious? I cannot help but feel irritated at the way Claude has snapped at me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be this way. He trails off, his eyes distant, because of your curse, right? Most of the time he is sociable and a pleasure to talk to, but then he reverts to the state. It is like he is two different people. I cannot understand why he is like this. Why do I care so much for someone who keeps secrets? Lucette, I wish I could explain, but if I did, you would hate me. Or more accurately, you would be afraid of me. I could never be afraid of you. What is there to be afraid of? Claude wears a pained expression as he looks at me. I see him once again grabbing at the collar of his dress, looking like he's in some kind of quiet agony. That's what she said too. Is he talking about that one woman from before, the one who didn't love him? He thinks I'm the same. I'm not like her. Lucette. Claude's voice trails off the sound of running. Oh no. His hand moves quickly to the hilt of his sword just as I reach for mine. We only relax when we see that his jury and Garland are heading towards us. Why are they alone? Where are the king and queen? They weren't in the prison. I have no idea where else they could be. Dolores steps out from between the two of them, her expression somber. This doesn't bode well for us at all. We can't keep sneaking without a direction. That's a sure way to get caught. Oh no. The words have just left her mouth and the alarm sounds behind us. Oh no, don't tell me. It's the alarm. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh god. Everyone draws their weapons as Walt appears, running towards us with a hurried expression on his face. The knights are on their way. How did they know we were here? In seconds, I hear the clanking of metal, and then there are knights upon us. We are first to scatter to deal with different opponents. Our guard rushes at me with a sword, and I somehow manage to block his attack. I should be able to wind around him. The knight falls after I catch him from behind and give Claude an opening to attack him. Lucette, stay behind me. I promised I would, remember? Let's keep it that way. A smile flashes across his face, and for a few moments he seems more like the Claude that I know. A knight manages to separate Claude and I, leaving me by myself. He grabs my arm. Unhand me. I watch in shock as a simmering fog surrounds my attacker, his eyes closing as he slumps to the ground. He is only the first to fall. Seconds later, most of the knights in my immediate vicinity have fallen to the ground. I can tell by the subtle rise and fall of their chests that they are asleep. Sorry, I couldn't focus long enough to cast that spell earlier. Dolores drops her hands and turns to address Walt, Claude, and I. Head to the entrance hall. The king must be in one of the central rooms. Jury and Garland and I will head to the bed chambers in the east wing to look for the queen. Splitting up is not part of the plan. We don't have much of a choice here anymore. If we're going to get the king and queen out of here, we have to improvise. Now go. Claude grabs my hand and jerks his head at Walt's. Let's go. The three of us rush out into one of the palace hallways. I keep my gaze forward while Walt and Claude watch for enemies on either side of us. On our right, Claude grabs his sword and moves before Waltz and I can respond. He dives low toward a soldier who his sword posts straight for a devastating blow. Knights begin to approach from the left and I raise my sword, readying myself. Waltz snaps his fingers, a flash of light blinding the men in the immediate vicinity, and I use the opportunity to rush the knights in front of me. I grit my teeth as I attack. Most of my blows are lucky. There are way too many knights for me to be able to get the upper hand. There are so many of them. Well, if it isn't the most desirable princess. I whip around to attack the man that spoke to me, but he's nowhere to be found. Where is he? Who are you? I wonder. Lucette! I turn and see Claude running toward me, a panicked expression on his eyes. I take a step towards him when a masked man suddenly blocks my path. Oh, who are you? I raise my sword, but the masked man taps his cane on the floor before I can swing. An incredible pressure blasts out from the king. It shoves Claude to the floor and blows me backwards. I hit the wall hard, my vision darkens. Oh no. Girl, get up! Claude. Where am I? Why can't I see anything? My head hurts. Rise and shine, Sleeping Beauty. I jerk upright at the familiar voice. You're the man who knocked me out. The man laughs and I blink as I try to pinpoint the direction of his voice. Did he blindfold me? I command you to take this blindfold off. I don't take orders from princesses that no one remembers. But I am a gentleman, so I suppose I should have to heed a lady's request. Oh, the blindfold is abruptly pulled off and I flinch at the sudden brightness. Oh, why hello there, princess. My captor looks at me amused. He wears a crooked grin on his masked face and a cape on his shoulders. Who is he? My eyes wander to the throne and I cannot help but gasp at what I see. The king is strapped to the throne, hands bound, mouth covered. Your Majesty. The king pauses to look at me, his eyes containing a mixture of alarm and confusion. I turn to glare at the masked man. Let him go. No can do, princess, though. Don't you think he still looks regal sitting on his throne like that? I grit my teeth as I begin to struggle against my bonds. Struggle all you like, you won't get out of those knots anytime soon. Who are you? The masked man drops into an elegant bow. I'm called 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐿. Varg? What have you done to my father? Me? Nothing. Well, nothing much. I guess gagging a person and tying their hands behind their back counts as something. Are you working for Sir 𝐸𝐿𝐵𝐿? I don't work for anyone. So he's a mercenary? The door flies open and 𝐸𝐿𝐵𝐿 steps in, his face full of anger. Mithras the fool! How absolutely useless he was. Varg gives him a dismissive shrug. He regards me again with his mischievous smile. While I do agree that wholeheartedly that man is in the past, here in the present we have someone more far interesting to deal with. Varg gestures at me. I glare at Varg before turning my gaze to 𝐸𝐿𝐵𝐿. I used to think 𝐸𝐿𝐵𝐿 was someone to be respected, not anymore. If it isn't the princess herself, you remember who I am? Once Mithras made the connection, it was just too obvious to be false. Could Sir Mithras remember me? 𝐸𝐿𝐵𝐿 shifts his attention to the king. Gennaro, do you not remember this girl as your own blood daughter? My eyes meet the king's, but I see no recognition in his gaze. He cannot remember me. I haven't managed to break my curse yet. Why are you doing this to my father, to the kingdom? Everything I do for the kingdom. All successful rulers have run with an iron fist. Fear is the best motivation. A king that is too lenient and does not inspire fear has no business being on the throne. But the people of Angielle love their king. Before I thought that the town people were despicable because they hated me. Now I understand those reasons. They may have judged me as mother's daughter, which is wrong, but that does not mean they should be subject to a regime of fear. Your obligation as a ruler is to rule for the country, not the people. Back when the queen was still alive and this place knew the fear of the witches, they were far more productive. Fear motivates. Fear makes a man. King 𝐸𝐿𝐵𝐿. You better have a good excuse for interrupting. Your Highness, there's a beast. What? What are you blabbering about, you fool? A beast. A magical beast is rampaging around the palace. Is this the dead witch's doing? Dead? Witch? No. Dolores is fine. She has to be. Out with it. Did Mithras do this? No. What? I cannot stop myself from blurring out the question. Sir Mithras is a witch? He was a witch, but now he is dead. He turns to his knights and demands more information. I am too shocked to hear the words. Sir Mithras, a witch? Impossible. What are the other palace intruders? We've managed to apprehend some of them, but we can't get to everyone with that beast taking us out. That damn Mithros, still paying even after death. What did you do to serve Mithros? Did you not hear me, girl? He is dead, killed by my hand. But why? He was helpful at first. We worked together to achieve our own personal goals. He eyes me cautiously. He wanted you, princess. If Sir Mithros was a witch, that would explain why he still remembered me. Why did he want me? Who knows? It doesn't matter anymore. I gave him my knights to assist him in his search when the witches could not. But in the end, that fool was too power hungry. You never entered into my plans. You would have been safe, princess, had you just stayed put. But now that you're here, you'll come in handy. 𝐕𝐬𝐬𝐿 returns back to the knight, who immediately bursts into explanation once more. The beast is moving quickly. We don't know how much longer we can keep it from this room. There's a beast in the palace, and it's Sir Mithros doing. I'm so confused. And what about the others? Are they okay? Let me go, 𝐕𝐬𝐿. You are not going anywhere. It sounds like some of your friends are very persistent. They'll be coming for you, and when they get here, I will kill them. You princesses are going to make excellent bait. You know, I like this turn of events. Kind of amusing. You, tell me what all this is. 𝐕𝐲𝐿 looks amused by 𝐕𝐬𝐿's anger. It is Mithros that summoned this beast, is it not? Then you must know something you must know what is happening. You're asking me of all people, ha! As if I would be able to answer any of your questions. You. 𝐕𝐲𝐿. It doesn't matter how many times you say my name, 𝐕𝐬𝐿, I won't have any answers for you. Sir 𝐕𝐬𝐿 turns to me, his eyes manic. Whether this is Mithros' magic or magic belonging to one of your friends, I'm not going to let it live. Could Delora create a beast out of thin air? I have no clue what it is. Sir 𝐕𝐬𝐿 draws his sword from his sheath and curses under his breath. I squirm, desperate to find some kind of break in my restraints. 𝐕𝐲𝐿 surprises me, however, by reaching down and cutting the ropes, binding my arms with the sword that I recognize. You have my sword. I stand up as quickly as I can and grab the sword from him. That was too easy. I eye 𝐕𝐲𝐿 warily as his mouth twists into a smirk. What are you doing? Why are you helping me? Help. All I did was cut some ropes. Besides, I'm curious to see what you'll do with that toothpick of a sword. He talks like he doesn't care at all what happens. Don't think about it too much, princess. It's probably a little too much for your small head. I swing my sword toward him and 𝐕𝐲𝐿 catches it with his cane. You really think I'm the one you should be fighting? The door creaks and falls off its hinges. The knight stumbles back and I hear screaming as loud footsteps sounds against the hall's tiles. So what will you do? Run, hide, or will the beast kill you too? Oh. My eyes focus on the large figure entering the room, though I cannot make out specifics at first. The form grows far more distinct the further it moves into the room. Whatever this is, I cannot fight it. There is a moment of eerie silence, and then 𝐕𝐬𝐿 yells, and the knights rush forward, attacking the beast as a collective. The beast throws them off with surprising nimbleness, his rage in every swipe. I dodge away just before a man's body falls on top of me. Over here, beast! Sir 𝐕𝐬𝐿 rushes at the beast. I finally manage to get a clear line of sight to the king, who is still bound and helpless on the throne. The king, I have to get him out of here. I run toward the throne, but someone stops me dead in my tracks. Saving the king really should be your priority right now. I grit my teeth and swing my sword at 𝐕𝐲𝐿, but he easily darts away from me. I would be watching my back. It is then that I notice the beast slowly making its way toward me. Why would it be after me? Either I stay here and fend it off, or... Sir 𝐕𝐬𝐿 catches the beast with a broad swipe of his sword, and the two are focused once more on each other. I glance urgently at the king and then at the doors. The beast moved again, and I realize it is once more heading toward me. There is no way I can help the king in all this mess. I need help. I have to find the others. Hopefully, 𝐕𝐬𝐿 will keep this beast busy long enough for me to get them. I turn and bolt through the room, weaving my way through the chaos of knights as I head toward the door. I glance over my shoulder one last time at the king. His eyes are trained on the battle before him. His hands grip the arms of his throne, but there is nothing he can do. I am so sorry. I'll be back. For now, I have to find the others. I dart past the carnage in the room, stepping over and around bodies as they appear. Halfway to the door, the beast lunges past Sir 𝐕𝐬𝐿, and for a few moments I think he might be attacking me. Stay back. I hold my sword out in front of me and stand in a defensive position like Claude taught me, but the beast never reaches me. You've ruined everything, beast. 𝐕𝐬𝐿 is suddenly in front of me, waving his sword at the beast. I stumble back towards the doors, my heart beating loudly in my chest. I have to get out of here. What is going on? Oh my god. Chapter 10, The Beauty and the Beast. Oh my god. Is it Claude? Where did the beast come from? Knights immediately rushed toward me. I backed away as far as I can without re-entering the throne room. Princess, come quietly and we'll keep you somewhere safe until this all dies down. I cannot take them all on at once. Even knowing that I still pull out my sword, I take a few steps back and then suddenly feel my back press up against something. The beast stands behind me, its back to me. I stand in its shadow and I realize that if it turned around, it could swat me to the walls just like the rest of its victims. But it's just standing there, together. The beast says nothing more, though I still feel on edge. There is something oddly familiar about this. Claude told me once it was better to fight back to back. I would trust you for now, whatever you are. I do not know if it understands me, but I can hope. It seems more like a human than any kind of animal. Princess, get away from the beast. The knight never finishes his sentence as the beast sends him flying through the air. Why is it helping me? The knights fall like dominoes to the beast, but manage to remain standing when I strike them with my sword. Even just taking one down is so hard. These men have been trained for years, while I haven't even had the luxury of a year. Out of the corner of my eye, and I sense movement. I see a gleam of silver and hear a grunt as a sword is raised into the air. The sword is nowhere near reaching me, but the beast. I aim a kick at the approaching knight before whirling around and look at the beast. The oncoming sword comes closer to the beast's exposed back, and I know the beast will not be able to dodge in time. Move! I shove past the creature and catch the knight's sword with my own before I can harm the beast. My arms are shaking underneath the strength of the impact between our swords. I feel like my arms are going to give out. Then a flash of light appears so bright that everyone is temporarily blinded. We broke our curse. Oh my god. I stumble back, rubbing at my eyes from the sounds of it. The beast is continuing to drive back the knights, most of them shouting to each other to retreat. What was that? When I'm finally able to see again, my eyes automatically land on my feet. I stare in shock. We broke our curse. Glass slippers? I quickly reach up. To my pendant and realize it is no longer there. I complete my 3 good deeds. Lucette, it knows my name. I look around and realize that the beast and I are alone, the knights having fled. Did the beast drive off the rest of them? I feel a pressure on my back and realize that the beast is touching me. My first instinct is to run, but the words it utters next paralyze me. You, okay? Every word sounds breathless and pain, like it takes too much to speak. It is worried about me. I watch in shock as the beast appears to gesture towards my shoes. You did it. I sit back warily. What are you? The beast reaches out and I see something glittering in the palm of his hand. Oh, it's Claude! The rose locket. For a few moments, my heart plummets into my stomach and my hands begin to quiver. What did you do? What did you do to Claude? The beast's shadow fingers curl over the locket even as he stares at me. I give that locket to Claude. The beast only stares at me for a few moments longer, and then suddenly I realize that his words, nothing more than a pain growl, do not hold any malice. I gave the locket to you. The beast slowly nods. My grasp on the sword loosens as I stare at him in shock, realization dawning upon me. Claude? Yes? So this is your secret. Why would you not tell me? I could have hurt you. Claude is another form, a cursed form, and he never told me. Why? As my mind whirls, I feel everything coming together like the pieces of a puzzle. Secrets are secrets for a reason, Princess. You should know that. If I could speak on them, I would, but I can't. Lucette, I wish I could explain. You would hate me, or more accurately, you would be afraid of me. All those times, Claude was clutching at his chest. You were touching your tattoo so many times before, like you were in pain. The beast growls, and the sound is surprisingly soft, almost a sigh. Curse. And the tattoo was a warning. The first time I saw that tattoo was a beautiful rose. The second time it had more thorns. When the rose became ensnared in thorns, did he transform? And he always touched his tattoo when he came too close to me. Claude, your curse did not just make others fall in love with you. It stopped you from loving anyone too, didn't it? He mentioned that woman before, the one who he thought loved him but didn't. Is it possible that he saw him in this form and was terrified of him? If you loved anyone, you would turn into a beast. You loved a woman once, but she only loved you because of your curse. The minute you transformed, she was scared of you, wasn't she? Yes. He sounds so pained. The reason Claude has been trying to hide everything from me is because he is scared that I would have feared him. That is why beauty has always been so important to him, but the curse cast upon him makes him both beautiful and a beast. I wanted you to love me, but no one could love a beast. His words are dwindling. It almost sounds like he's being suffocated on the inside with how slowly he's speaking. Claude, I've never cared much about appearances. People have worn masks on their face their whole life around me. Claude, I take a deep breath and face him. I will love you no matter what form you take. I drop my sword to the ground and make my way over to him. I rest my cheek on his chest and wrap my arms around him. I love you. The room is filled with a bright but gentle light. It almost feels like I am bathing in sunlight. For a few moments, I forget my worries. Everything feels blissful and quiet, and my heart feels full. Then moments later, I feel warm arms around my waist. We broke his curse. I love you too, Lucette. When I open my eyes, I still can't see anything, even though I know the light has faded. That warmth is still there too, but now I feel it immediately on my skin, and I realize it now because Claude is hugging me, not as a beast, but as a man. Did I break his curse? I realize this is the first time Claude has ever touched me for a long period of time without abruptly moving away. Tentatively, I move my hands, feeling the fabric of his shirt and the warmth of him underneath it. Claude. But before I can finish my sentence, my lips are sealed. I feel Claude's lips on mine only briefly, but it is enough to make me suddenly feel faint. He pulls away from me with a bright smile. Or brilliant smile. I've always wanted to do that. Lucette, you're blessing. If I could, I would kiss you again, but we have some urgent things to attend to. The reality of the situation begins to seep back into me. My father, 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐿, 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼, they are all still in the throne room. The king. Let's go, Lucette. When Claude and I rush into the throne room, my attention is immediately grabbed by the king calling my name. Lucette. He is still bound to the throne, though his gag is removed. A rush of relief floods through me. He is alive. He is alive and he remembers me. My gaze is drawn to the two men battling at the base of the throne. Their swords are locked together in a stalemate. 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼 and... Fritz? What has happened here? This is not how you gain power. I knew you would be a thorn in my side from the moment I conceived this plan. Where is 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼? The only one here is me, and I will... Fritz's connotation slips as his eyes land on me. The opening is small, but it is enough to give Sir 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼 the opportunity he needs. Watch out! Claude is already running over to help, but even he is too slow. Oh. 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼 disarms Fritz before driving his sword through Fritz's chest. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. No! 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼 pulls a sword out of Fritz's chest just fast enough to deflect Claude's attack. As Claude drives 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼 away from the throne, I rush to where Fritz has collapsed into the ground. His eyes are already growing glassy. Fritz. I lean over him. There's so much blood. I glare at 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼. How could you do this to your own son? Anyone in my way will meet my sword. Blood does not matter. Princess. I turn back to Fritz in alarm, tears in my eyes. Fritz, hold on. Don't speak. You need to conserve your energy. Princess, I'm sorry. Fritz, please don't speak. I feel bitter tears stinging my eyes. I'm sorry. I watch as the life seeps from Fritz's eyes. I put my hand to his chest to feel for a heartbeat, but Fritz's body is still. Fritz. I glance up at the sound to see Claude at the far side of the room, struggling to get to his feet. Lucette, watch out! I ain't turned, but I'm not fast enough. I see 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼's sword raised high in the air, and I know it will reach me before I can pick up my sword. Delora. The sword falls from Sir 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼's hand as a bright red ribbon of light twins around the hill and drags it far from reach. I turn to see Delora standing a short distance away, Jerry and Garland and Waltz all standing behind her. I'm afraid your performance as king has been incredibly disappointing. Jerry and Garland move together, rushing 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼 from the same side. I see Claude moving in from the other side, quiet and lethal. Princess. Waltz and Delora rush over to me as the fighting continues. 𝐕𝐺𝐿𝐼 has reclaimed his sword and is trying to evade attacks from the 3 different swords at once. The king. Waltz nods at me, his gaze lingering on Fritz as his expression becomes solemn. He walks up to the throne while Delora kneels beside me. Delora. Delora shakes her head, and that is all I need to know that there is nothing more to be done. We will make sure he is properly honored, but for now we need to get you out of here. What about Ophelia? waiting for us somewhere safe. I constructed a shield around her that would keep her hidden from view and harm until we return for her. Weren't we meant to bring the royal family back to the Marchinverse? And not when we're missing the king. Besides, plans change when a magical beast starts rampaging in the castle. Princess. I turn to look at 𝐕𝐲𝐿𝐵, who is still somehow managing to scream my name despite the fact that he's being quickly overwhelmed. Princess, we could have worked together. If you were more like your mother, you could have ruled with grace, beauty, and fear. I flinch back and Dolores' hands come to rest on my forearms, her grip steadying. That is enough. I look and see that the king has stopped to stand beside me. To my surprise, the king rests a gentle hand on my shoulder, his eyes soft as he looks at me. Lucette, we have a lot to talk about, but right now I have something I must do. I nod mutely and watch as the king draws his sword. He makes his way to 𝐕𝐲𝐿𝐵. Jury and Garland and Claude step back from where they have forced 𝐕𝐲𝐿𝐵 to one knee. You are a traitor, lacking any honor, 𝐕𝐲𝐿𝐵. You were the one that lacked honor. A ruler must have the people beneath his thumb. A ruler must lead people, not suffocate them. His oath as king is to protect them. You are no king, 𝐕𝐲𝐿𝐵. For your crimes, I find you guilty and incapable of rehabilitation. The sentence for your severity of your crimes is death. The king raises his sword and I turn away before he strikes down his sword. There is no sound or scream to follow. I turn once more to see that the king has pointed the sword at 𝐕𝐲𝐿𝐵's chest but has not killed him. You will stay in the prisons until the time for your trial comes. Though you might try to refute these claims, you will be tried as a traitor to this kingdom, and then you will be executed. 𝐕𝐲𝐿𝐵's shoulders fall. The glare never leaves his face, not even when guards seize him and drag him from the room. The king immediately sends Jury and Garland out to deal with any knights that are still part of the coup. Dolores and Claude help with moving Fritz's body, while Waltz tries his best to fill the king in on the most basic points of our successful operation. Well, oh my god, Fritz is dead. Everything has died down a little bit over the last hour, but I still feel overwhelmed. I glance at Waltz and the king, who are still speaking. Every time the king sees me looking at him, he flashes me an uncertain smile before glancing away. I know he wants to speak with me, but I will talk to him after I can get Fritz's bodies out of my mind. It was my fault he died, wasn't it? He saw me and stumbled. Hey, princess. What are you doing here? Here, I thought you'd changed, but you've still got some feistiness in you, don't you? Many years ago, when the war ended, we were all faced with a feeling just like this, princess. We had lost so much and the future seemed so grim. But now is different. You have a future. You broke your curse, princess. That gives you some kind of hope. And in addition, you broke karma's. Memories of Claude's arms around me, of his lips on mine, come flying back to my foggy mind. My heart still feels tight, but it is a little lighter when I think about him. I wish he was here right now. How did I break Claude's curse? Claude, I don't think I'll ever get used to his real name. Seems like he hasn't told you yet. I guess it's been pretty hectic. So, Claude turned into a beast because he loved me? Well, I guess I could give you the laydown of his curse. Stop! Desist! Dolores has not even started to speak when Claude runs into the room, gasping as if he's been running through the halls. Curse? Are you speaking about my curse? There was no way he heard us talking in the hallway, is there? Even I feel at a loss of words for right now. I sense that you might be talking about me. The princess was just asking me about your curse. Oh, then I was right to come running, and here I was just guessing at what you might be talking about. Claude's curse was based off of the tale of the Beauty and the Beast. Claude easily finishes her sentence. Dolores holds up her hands as if in surrender. So eager to steal the spotlight. Well, you are talking about me after all. You always told me that your curse was just the Beauty's curse, though. Well, yes, because the other half was a little difficult to explain, wasn't it? He has a point, though I think he might have been able to save us all some trouble if he hadn't been so secretive about his curse. He really must have been scared that I would shun him. Allow me to explain, princess. In the fairy tale, a prince of a kingdom is transformed into a beast because his heart is as cold as ice. Sounds familiar to a certain icy princess, eh? Yeah. Just trying to lighten the mood. Claude sighs. I would call Lucette something far more flattering, like my sweet beloved. We were talking about your curse. Alright, well, anyway, the witch who cursed the prince in the tale tells him that he has to learn to love and be loved, and before the petals of a rose completely fall off. A rose? Yeah, she gives him a rose, and he keeps it protected under glass. Some time passes, and the rose continues to wither away. A maiden finds the beast, and eventually the two fall in love. At the end of the tale, she confesses her love to the beast, and he transforms back into a human. By confessing, I saved you. But his curse was different from the tale. I know what you're thinking, that my curse was somewhat different. It was more complicated. The witch made it so that I was both the beauty and the beast. She said it suited me because I was so vain. The witch constructed a very roundabout curse. Any woman who falls for me falls in love with me as the beauty. And when I transformed into a beast, the enchantment would break and they would become terrified of me. I doubt Claude ever thought he would break his curse. The love woman felt for him while he was cursed was always fake. How could that kind of love hold strong when he turned into the beast if it was never true to begin with? Then you came along, princess. I bet he just have given up hope and was waiting for you to dispel the curse on your birthday, but now here you both are. But the ice princess in love? What a miracle. I turn away embarrassed. It is not a miracle. Oh, he's blocking. Oh, I am very glad I met you, Lucette. Lady Dolores' words are the truth. I had just given up hope. I never had any hopes of breaking my curse. I had thought that the only way to fix it would be to have you dispel it on your birthday. But then I came to know you and, aw, he fell in love. A fairy tale indeed. That is so sweet. You started out frowning at everyone and everything. You've come a long way, princess. Congratulations, you turned out to be a pretty okay princess. And you turned out to be a pretty okay witch. Do my ears deceive me? A compliment from our little witch? You look so surprised, but you'll be the new bearer of our crystal real soon, princess. I expect good things from you. Right, I almost forgot about that part. I'll try my best. Yet another miraculous proclamation from the little witch. Will the surprises never cease? Before I can snap at Dolores again, the king awkwardly interjects, coming to stand next to us with Waltz by his side. Pardon the intrusion. Oh, not at all, your majesty. Hi. Waltz told me that you were cursed, that's why I forgot about you. Yes. Even if it was by a curse, I feel terrible that such a thing could have ever happened. So I will make it up to you. We can catch up from where we were many, many years ago. Maybe things can be different. I'm sorry. What for? For being the way that I was before, for shunning Ophelia and her children. Oh. Ophelia, did they bring her back to the margin? Ophelia is still here. After the fight was over, she was shown back to her room. She is still waiting for Rod and Emmeline to return. Now, would you maybe be willing to tell me the story from the beginning? Perhaps I could fill in the gaps, your majesty. Claude? The king looks startled when he stares at Claude. He blinks as if he just noticed his presence. Oh, and you are? Claude elegantly bows before the king. I am Prince Claude of Brigantia. A pleasure to finally meet your highness, or your majesty, the lost prince. The king turns to me with a puzzled look. It's a long story. Claude surprises me by wrapping an arm around my shoulders and pulling me closer to him. Everyone looks shocked except for Dolores, who looks like she is trying not to laugh. As the princess's lover, I feel it my obligation to help her explain this whole mess. I feel my face getting hotter at Claude's sudden proclamation. All their eyes are now on me and I suddenly feel like hiding myself. Only Claude would say something so bluntly. The king looks more shocked than anything. When did this happen? Well, your majesty, I think we had better start at the beginning. Oh my god. We were able to tell the king everything save for where Varg had disappeared to. No one was sure where he had gone in all the chaos. The night's searches for him all ended in failure. A lot of explaining had to be done, not just to the king, but also to the people at the tavern. As soon as everything has calmed down, Rod and Emily finally went back to the palace. Okay, you know what? Where is the settings? This is too loud. I apologized to them as best I could, and they all seemed willing to try with me again. And I'm willing to try again too. As for Claude... So you're going back. Are you sure you don't want to... Are you sure you don't want to come to Brigantia with me just for a short holiday? I would love nothing more than introduce you to my family. Mother would probably shower you with gifts. Father would, well, tease you probably. He makes jokes frequently, and llama... What did you just say, llama? He has a pet llama? My brother, llama. What? Another acronym, Karma and Mama. Oh, does your father do these things on purpose? I told you he likes jokes. My brother's real name is Lance. I was going to bring you back and introduce the two of you. And you could tell my little brother how very charming I am. Is this just my imagination, or is there a glimmer of competition in his eyes? As much as I would like to meet your family, you have your own obligations here, and you need to let your family know that you're safe and alive. But the thought of being separated from you... Claude sighs before he leans down and plants a kiss on my forehead. I'll miss you. You won't be gone that long. Love, that's not how you're supposed to respond. You're supposed to say, my sweet prince, I'll miss you too. Fine, then I'll miss you, maybe. Claude raises an eyebrow at me and then smiles. I'll be back for your birthday. I love you. Oh my god. Oh, they're so cute. It has only been a few weeks since Claude left, but I am impatient. The king has been throwing grand dinners every night in preparation for my birthday, but I can hardly concentrate on anyone else when I am thinking of Claude. I told him all about all those smaller birthday celebrations. I thought he would be here for them. My birthday is in a few days, but when he come back? I've tried to make myself busy, mainly by continuing my sword practices with Jurian and Garland, who have both rejoined the Order of Caldera. Oh, that's good! Every time I am around the knights, I think of Fritz. I shall bring some new flowers tomorrow. If Claude would just return already, we could go pay our respects together. Hello, Lucette, my love, my sunshine, my beautiful betrothed. Claude? I shake my head and try to gather my thoughts. First of all, you did not knock. Second, we are not engaged. We may as well be, don't you think? At the very least, knock before you come in. Still worried I would come in on you in the middle of changing? Would you have minded so terribly? Yes! It's worth saying those things to you just to see you blush. Why are you even here? His arrival was so sudden I had absolutely no time to prepare. Claude sighs dramatically. You didn't want me back here? No, I mean, you did not even write to say you'd be back today. I wasn't expecting you. I did say I'll be back before your birthday. I'm a man of my word. Should I have stayed out longer? No, of course not. I grumble as Claude walks over to my bed, grinning. He sits down on the bed next to me and wraps an arm around my waist, pulling me closer. I sigh out and lean my head on his shoulder. It is a startling contrast to what it used to be. Before, if I touched him, he would flinch and turn away from me. Now he is always right next to me. Claude's whole body seems to relax when I tentatively wrap my arms around him and hug him back. I knew I would miss you, but it was really terrible being away from you. But you enjoy the time with your family. I did, and my brother was very frustrated that I spoke about you almost every hour of the day. How could you have that much to say about me? Oh, I felt like I didn't have enough time to list off all your virtues. I nudge him in the arm, but he just grins at me. A glint from Claude's pocket catches my eye, and I flush proudly when I notice the rose locket. Looking at the locket makes me think back to that night when you transformed back into a prince. Lost in thought, are we? I was just noticing the locket. You still carry it around with you. Of course I do. It has become my most valuable possession. He pulls the little locket out and pops it open. I am startled when I see the small sheet of paper with my own words on it. My message to him is still there. Claude smiles as he reads the words out loud. A normal rose would have withered, so I offer this one instead. Heartfelt thanks. I say nothing when he turns to look at me. Oh, your cheeks are red again. Your embarrassment is adorable, darling. I am not embarrassed. I just didn't think he'd keep the words in there that they would ever mean so much to him. Yes, of course. You just have exceptionally rosy cheeks. He pauses as he closes the locket again and looks at it fondly. I love this locket because it is the first gift you gave me. Aww. He was holding the locket as the beast too. It was half of the reason I recognized him. I jump as Claude gently taps my nose with his finger. This locket isn't going anywhere anytime soon, I can assure you. I smile, he winks at me. Anyway, allow me to pull you back into the present. Since I promised you no more secrets, let me tell you something. Oh? Claude looks away from me, his eyebrows furrowing, and I frown. I hope it is nothing serious. I'm nervous about sitting down to dinner with your father tonight. You're nervous? I start laughing without even meaning to. You're laughing at my pain, princess? He pulls me closer and kisses the top of my head. But you are too flamboyant to be nervous. I'm confident, princess, not flamboyant. There's a difference. Right. Claude's expression grows more solemn. He looks at me seriously, almost sadly. Lucette, I'm so sorry about lying to you. That whole time, I made myself up to be someone beautiful, someone I wasn't. I believed I was truly a good person on the inside and that I deserved good things, even though I was selfish. He's already apologized to me before, too many times. Claude, you do not have to apologize. No, that witch was right to curse me. I've always had everything handed to me on a silver platter. When I came to Angielle, I believed that if it wasn't going to help break my curse, it wasn't important, and then I met you. At first, I thought I would just have to get on your good side so you could help me dispel my curse, but then, Lucette, I realized I was drawn to your confidence and commitment. But I can never admit that I was in love with you. I was so scared that if I transformed into a beast and you were scared of me, I would lose my chance at winning your heart. So you see, princess, I was selfish. I wanted all of you without having to give you all of me. I look down at where our hands are intertwined and I grip my fingers tighter. Or his fingers, God. I told you enough times now that you don't have to apologize. Or you have nothing to apologize for. But if you insist on apologizing, maybe you ought to do something to make it up to me. Those words are out of my lips before I can even think them. I stop suddenly, trying to ignore the hot flush in my cheeks. Claude looks at me puzzled, and for a few moments I feel triumphant that I have caught him off guard. Then the puzzled look fades and Claude just grins at me. Oh my, so straightforward. Forward? I open my mouth to apologize when he suddenly grabs my hand and tugs me down to the bed. Oh god. The instincts Claude taught me my sword fighting are quickly overwhelmed by my surprise, and in no time at all he has me pinned down to the bed and is looming just above me, smiling. Aww. I'm disappointed. Princess, you knew my weakness and you didn't even exploit it there. Your weakness? Yes. He leans closer to me, our noses almost touch. My weakness is you, Lucette. Oh. He leans down, our lips finally meet. I relax into the contact, my earlier tension melting away as warmth flows through me. He pulls away and smiles at me. You see, I let my guard down in front of you. I let my guard down in front of him too, and only him. This whole time, all I want to be able to do is touch him like this. Bro, that was my TV. His fingers move gently up my arm and he leans down to kiss me again. Oh my god, did someone really interrupt? The sound of knocking startles us both. A muffled voice comes through the door. Princess, the king is requesting your presence down in the dining hall. He says that your friends have arrived. Princess, I hear the doorknob begin to turn, quickly speak. Yes, I will be there in a minute. I will let him know, princess. First a curse and now this. It is as if the world is conspiring against us. He kisses me once more on the forehead before slowly sitting up and running a hand through his hair. I catch the mischievous look in his eyes as I smooth down my own ruffled hair. Don't worry, Lucette, we'll just finish this later. I feel my cheeks blush. You say such uncouth things. Claude chuckles before he stands up and offers his hand. I take it and smile up at him. I love you, Lucette, and now I can get to say it as many times as I like. I love you too, Claude. I stand up on my toes to plant a quick kiss on his lips before heading to the door. Let's go, Claude. Oh my god. I really like that route. Oh my god. I like that a lot better than Rod's. I won't even lie. Rod, I don't know. Maybe just because, I don't know. But I really enjoyed that route a lot. Oh my god. Well, everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed Karma's route, and we have now finished 2 out of 5 routes, and next episode we are going to be starting Rumple's route, and that is halfway there. I cannot wait to do Fritz's route. I really like Fritz. I think he is really cool. Like, I don't know, he just always disappears and stuff. And I just have a suspicion that he's like Varg or something because they really look alike, but I don't know. But, oh well, you know. We'll see, you know. But yeah, everyone, I hope you enjoyed Karma's route, and I will see you in the next episode of Cinderella Phenomenon. Bye!